Good evening and welcome to Game on Hay. Another couple of games today, all done and dusted. We've had games number 22 and 23 out of 30 in this Super 12s. So another 7 to go before we find out finally who will be in those semi-finals and of course who therefore might have a chance of getting to the finals. Still some cricket to be played, but one or two things have certainly been decided today. So let's go back to have a quick look at the match summaries of the two games that we've seen today and just refresh memories as to how they've gone. Sri Lanka, first of all, have had a memorable victory for them. 189 for 3 they put on the board, and they kept the West Indies down to 169 for 8, so winning by 20. And Darshan Shanaka, as their captain, was delighted because that's the reward for lots of bright cricket. There was some brilliant batting at the top from Aslanka and Nisanka, 68 and 51 respectively. And for West Indies, well, Shimron Hetmar's 81 was spectacular and brilliant, but I'm afraid not enough because the support, apart from that of Pooran, Nicholas Pooran, was just not there. And that's a topic of discussion a little later. So the other game that we had earlier in the day saw Bangladesh routed by Australia. Bangladesh put in and never got going. The engine never got started. 73 all out in no time whatsoever. Australia had their eye on improving their net run rate and they had a target of finishing quickly. They succeeded in that too. 6.2 overs, that's all they needed to get to 78 for 2. The captain Finch led the way with 40 from 20. So a very, very comprehensive win, a very quick win by Australia by 8 wickets. So yeah, those are the two games. We might just show you the points table as well actually, while we're at it, while we're doing the stats and the figures and all the rest of it, because it will confirm that West Indies now have no chance, sadly, of qualifying for the semi-finals. Likewise, Sri Lanka, they've finished their 5 matches. They're on 4 points. So above them remain England on 8, Australia on 6, South Africa on 6, and there are still permutations there that will decide who actually goes through to the semi-finals. But I'm afraid it's the end of the road in terms of that quest for Sri Lanka and the West Indies today, although the West Indies still have one game to play, and that will be against Australia. So those are the facts and figures of the day. Sana, it's been, well, a sort of final day for some. Certainly Bangladesh have finished their 5 games. They know there's nothing more they can do. West Indies still have that game left, and there's nothing more they can do either to attempt qualification for the semi-finals.
Yes, the only thing they can do is to go out on a high note and, of course, cause some problems for Australia for qualifying for the semis. That's all they can do right now because Bangladesh and Sri Lanka are both done for the World Cup. Now it's all up to South Africa if they can win against England to go to their semi-final, or Australia winning against West Indies.
Well, yeah, I say, it leaves it open. There are permutations. It leaves it open for various points to be added, for net run rate to play its part, maybe. Obviously, if England just win their game, that sorts it out for them, and they will be top of the group comfortably. But yes, that's something we do have to look forward to.
Of course, and of course, this group overall, they have played good cricket in patches. Sri Lanka, as we talked about yesterday also, if they had 1 or 2 more senior players, 1 in bowling, 1 in batting, they could have gone for those semis under these conditions because otherwise the team looked good.
Yeah, well, at least they finished on a good note, and that's one of the things that, if you know you're not going to qualify for semis, as long as you finish with the sort of result that sort of lifts the spirits. And in their case, what it's done, of course, is they've looked at players who have come through this tournament with credit, and players who are young enough to be around for a long time yet, so they know that the future will get better, will get brighter.
Of course, their future is brighter, and we can talk to the panel about it. We have got Azhar Mahmood, Rashid Latif, Umar, we've got Sir Vivian and Aaqib Javed. क्या कहेंगे राशिद भाई श्रीलंका की ओवरऑल परफॉर्मेंस के बारे में, और वेस्ट इंडीज़ ने जिस तरह आज बैटिंग ऑर्डर में तब्दीलियां की, कुछ वर्क किया उनके लिए, लेकिन थोड़ा सा लेट हो गया टूर्नामेंट में.
मेरे ख्याल से वेस्ट इंडीज़ 8 प्लेयर से खेल रही थी. इस इवेंट में भी कभी 8 कभी 9 प्लेयर से खेला है. गेल, सबका फैसला यही था कि नहीं खेलना चाहिए आज गेल को. ब्रावो नंबर 2 कैंडिडेट, रामपॉल नंबर 3, तो 3 प्लेयर्स ऐसे थे जिनकी पूरे इवेंट के अंदर कोई.
पोलार्ड को आप भूल रहे हैं, कप्तान को.
पोलार्ड चले पर हम नहीं, परफॉर्मेंस की बात नहीं कर रहा, वैसे भी इनकी जो प्रेजेंस शो हो रही थी वो बस.
अगर सही सिलेक्शन हो तो वॉल्श को होना चाहिए।
वॉल्श होना चाहिए, वैसे वॉल्श होना चाहिए था, उसको भी होना चाहिए था जो फास्ट बॉलर जो था थॉमस, उसको होना चाहिए था। तो वेस्ट इंडीज तो ये पहली दफ़ा लगा है कि T20 में सरेंडर कर दिया वेस्ट इंडीज़ ने। अमूमन श्रीलंका की टीम हो, बांग्लादेश की को थ्रैश करते हैं, गेल एक आध सेंचुरी करता है लेकिन वो बिल्कुल आउट। लास्ट टू ईयर से या 1 ईयर में तो एक इनका तकरीबन 18-20 मैचेस में 167 है, एक दफ़ा उन्होंने 67 बनाया, कितनी दफ़ा डबल फिगर में नहीं गए, लेकिन फिर भी इनका सिलेक्शन हुआ है। मेरे ख्याल से ज़्यादती की है इन्होंने। बाकी हम देखते हैं श्रीलंका की बैटिंग, निशांका को देते हैं, आज जो बैटिंग की है उन्होंने आउटस्टैंडिंग, और उनका फर्स्ट क्लास रिकॉर्ड देख रहा था। इनके ओनली 37 मैचेस हैं इनके, उसमें 14 सेंचुरीज हैं, 14 इनकी हाफ सेंचुरीज हैं, 28 मैचेस तो मतलब ये इनिंग्स तो ये हो गई। बाकी अगर देखा जाए 64 का इनका एवरेज है, इसका मतलब ये फ्यूचर के बड़े स्टार नजर आ रहे हैं।
इनके वालिद जो हैं वो ग्राउंड्समैन रहे हैं।
जी जी, अभी बताया अजहर ने और इन्होंने बताया मुझे बिल्कुल। और अथलांका 2 ऐसे प्लेयर नज़र आए हैं इसके अंदर कि इन्होंने बड़ा अच्छा लेके चले हैं शनाका। तो इस टीम को ये कह सकते हैं कि बैड लक कह सकते हैं। इनके बाद थोड़ी सी एक्सपीरियंस, जो आकिब ने बात की, अजहर ने बात की, थोड़ा सा एक्सपीरियंस मौजूद होता तो ये पुश कर सकती थी, क्योंकि सिचुएशन कंडीशन सूट करती थी, हमारे श्रीलंकन को करती थी। क्या ये टीम अच्छी बन के नेक्स्ट अगर T20 ऑस्ट्रेलिया में होता है परफॉर्म कर पाएंगे तो हमें यकीन नहीं, लेकिन अपनी ज़मीन पे यानी कि पाकिस्तान, इंडिया, इस जगह पे ये अच्छा परफॉर्म कर,
ऑस्ट्रेलिया और साउथ अफ्रीका
लेकिन अच्छा लगा। लेकिन फाइटिंग हमें क्या देखना है, अच्छे कैचेस देखने हैं। आज जो कैच किया है मेरे ख्याल से राजपक्ष ने कैच किया है, तो ये परफेक्शन देखनी होती है बैटिंग में, बॉलिंग में, फील्डिंग में। तो आज अगर देखते हैं नो डाउट बहुत ख़राब खेली वेस्ट इंडीज़, लेकिन फुल मार्क्स टू श्रीलंकन टीम एंड मैनेजमेंट।
जबरदस्त। उमर भाई आपके पास आते हैं, क्या आपको क्या इम्प्रेसिव लगा आज के मैच में श्रीलंका और वेस्ट इंडीज़ के मैच में, और किस चीज़ ने थोड़ा सा डिसअपॉइंट किया?
जी बिल्कुल, सबसे पहले तो श्रीलंका के जो टॉप ऑर्डर थे, जिस तरह निशांका और ये श्रीलंका ने जिस तरह थ्रू आउट द टूर्नामेंट खेला अभी तक, इम्प्रेसिव, बड़ा ज़बरदस्त उनको लाइक हर मैच में दोनों ने परफॉर्म किया। और यंगस्टर एक अपॉर्चुनिटी उनको मिली थी और उन्होंने अवेल किया। और आई थिंक वेस्ट इंडीज़ को तो आप कैसे थे कि उनके बैटिंग में ओवरऑल सबको पता था कि उनमें है पावर हिटर्स है, बिग हिटर्स है कि जो मैच को चेंज कर सकते हैं, जो कि पूरे टूर्नामेंट में, वर्ल्ड कप में अभी तक तो ऐसा कोई नहीं चला। ऑड वन परफॉर्मेंसेस हुई है, लेकिन वो टीम के लाइक उस इतने अफेक्टिव नहीं हुए कि जो टीम को जिता सके, आगे नॉकआउट राउंड में लेके जाते। बॉलिंग का सबको पता ही था कि बॉलिंग उनकी काफ़ी वीक है, और इस तरह के बॉलर उनके पास नहीं थे कि जो आपको विकेट दिला सके। लग ऐसे ही रहता जो आज भी मैच हुआ है कि बस वो सिर्फ जो ना वो अपनी सर्वाइविंग के लिए वो जो बॉल कर रहे, डिफेंसिव बॉल कर रहे, बाहर बॉलिंग कर रहे, कोई इस तरह कोई बॉलर मुझे तो उनके बॉलिंग लाइनअप में नहीं लगे कि जो आपको विकेट दिला सके जब टीम को ज़रूरत हो। तो आई थिंक ओवरऑल श्रीलंका के जो प्लेयर्स थे उन्होंने काफ़ी इम्प्रेस किए।
बिल्कुल, इसी बात को आगे लेके चलूंगी। अजहर भाई, 7 बॉलर्स का इस्तेमाल किया वेस्ट इंडीज़ ने, सिर्फ 3 विकेट्स लेने में कामयाब हो सके। उमर भाई ने भी इस पर टच किया है, आकिब भाई से पहले कर चुके हैं कि बॉलिंग बहुत बड़ा इशू नज़र आ रहा है, कोई विकेट टेकर नहीं है। क्या देखते हैं कितना, मतलब ऑब्वियसली हम लोग ने वर्ल्ड कप शुरू हुआ था तो हम सारे कह रहे थे वेस्ट इंडीज़ को फेवरेट इन कंडीशंस में, और अब ये वो टीम है जो वर्ल्ड कप से बाहर हो गई है श्रीलंका और बांग्लादेश के साथ।
बात सारी कर ली सबने। आई थिंक अगर आप देखें कि बांग्लादेश 2 दफ़ा वर्ल्ड चैम्पियन था, तो उसमें वर्ल्ड चैम्पियन होने की वजह से ये थी, अगर आप पीछे चले जाएं तो ये लोग जो आज जिनकी बात हो रही है कि इनको नहीं होना चाहिए, जैसे राशिद भाई ने कहा 4 लोग, ये यंग भी थे, और उसके साथ इनकी जो क्वालिटी थी उस वक़्त, इनकी टीम में बदरी थे, इनकी टीम में नारायण थे, तो इनके पास ऐसे थे, रसल भी उस वक़्त अच्छी तेज़ बॉलिंग कर रहे थे, तो वो इनका जो उसके बाद ब्रेथवेट थे उनके पास, तो उसमें यह था कि इनके पास कोई ऐसे प्लेयर्स थे जो आउट कर सकते थे। तो अभी हमें कुछ ऐसा नज़र नहीं आया। सुबह भी हमने बात की थी, जैसे हमने कहा था कि वॉल्श को अंदर आना चाहिए और थॉमस को अंदर आना चाहिए उनको इस टीम के अंदर, जो आपके लिए थोड़ी सी ऐसी हो जाए कि एक एनर्जी आएगी, कोई विकेट टेकिंग ऑप्शन आपके पास होती है। क्योंकि हमने देखा थ्रू आउट द टूर्नामेंट लेग स्पिनर जो है वो ज़्यादा कामयाब हुए हैं इस टूर्नामेंट में, तो अगर वो आते तो फिर मेरा ख्याल कुछ बेहतर रिजल्ट होते, लेकिन आई थिंक मूविंग फॉरवर्ड फॉर वेस्ट इंडीज पॉजिटिव्स जो हैं, आई थिंक निकोलस पूरन की जो इनिंग्स थी जिस तरह कि ही इज़ अ क्लास एक्ट, वंडरफुल प्लेयर, मतलब जो है हेटमायर, इवन लुइस की एक इनिंग्स खेली उन्होंने, लेकिन उनमें काफ़ी ब्राइट फ्यूचर पोटेंशियल एंड ब्राइट फ्यूचर है। एंड देन द होल्डर का जो है ना वापसी जो टीम में हुई, क्योंकि वो पहले कप्तान थे, फिर टीम में नहीं थे, फिर आए इंजरी के बाद वो वापस आए, तो ये सारी पॉजिटिव्स हैं वेस्ट इंडीज़ के लिए। और जैसे सर से बात हो रही थी, उन्होंने बताया कि काफ़ी सारे यंग प्लेयर्स ऐसे हैं। आई थिंक नाउ दिस इज़ अ टाइम फॉर वेस्ट इंडीज़ मैनेजमेंट to think about it and moving forward, you know, give opportunity to the young player, not you know, not the experience, you know, like a good role models. You need to keep good role models.
I think जो एक चीज़ हम मिस कर रहे हैं, और जो अगर आप देखें ना, बाकी जो टीम्स है उनके कैप्टन है ना, वो फ्रंट से लीड कर रहे हैं, परफॉर्म भी कर रहे हैं, प्लस उनकी जो कैप्टनसी वो काफ़ी इम्प्रेसिव नज़र आ रही है। अगर आप पोलार्ड का देखें तो उसके जो टीम सिलेक्शन है, या अगर आप बैटिंग ऑर्डर या बॉलिंग वगैरह आप देख ले, आज भी रोशन चेस ने एक ओवर किया, फिर उसके बाद उसको लेके नहीं आ रहे, तो मेरा ख्याल से कैप्टनसी भी उस तरह की नहीं हुई जो बाकी कैप्टनसी कर रहे हैं।
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल, मैं भी एग्री करती हूँ।
एक चीज़ कहूँगा, एक्सपीरियंस की बात हो रही थी, तो बिटवीन पोलार्ड, ब्रावो एंड क्रिस गेल, मोर देन 1500 T20 मैच अराउंड द वर्ल्ड, सो देयर इज इनफ एक्सपीरियंस। लेकिन ये है कि आपको एक टाइम पे ऐसा होता है कि ठीक है, आप मतलब जो है ना इंटरनेशनल क्रिकेट अराउंड द लीग तो ठीक है, आप क्रिकेट खेल रहे हैं, लेकिन आपको इतना बड़ा नाम होने के साथ आपको खुद ये डिसाइड कर लेना चाहिए, नाउ दिस इज़ नॉट माय टाइम, सो आई हैव टू से गुड बाय।
And that's the fine line between balancing how much experience and how much.
श्रीलंका पे बात करनी है नहीं करनी?
नहीं, we'll go to the English panel first and then come back.
Okay, well, we've got the gist of it. Viv, so Viv, you have always been proud of your heritage, proud of your region, proud of your country, proud of West Indies as a cricket team. How are you feeling at the moment?
A little bit low, but when you look at it, I guess when that team left at home, there's a lot of doubts. Some felt that it was an aging team, but when you look at it, and I felt that these guys would have been proven match winners in the past, and they were hoping that these guys could have gotten them over the line in this particular tournament, but it wasn't to be so. In the end, West Indies did look an old team, and we would have heard from the panel earlier that in moving forward in the future, we'll have to look at maybe some young individuals, making sure that you have the right sort of blend with individuals who can be of some purpose in the team in terms of the influence and all that sort of stuff. But it wasn't to be. They tried, I guess. 169 tonight was the highest total that they would have amassed on tour so far. But let's look forward. You know, as a West Indian, I believe there's still a lot of good talents at home, individuals that I believe can still fly the flag as good as any. If I'm correct in hearing earlier as well, you have Nicholas Paran, you have Hetmeyer, who I think did a great job tonight, and Fabian Allen, you know, he's on the injury list. I believe that we'll be back, definitely be back. I haven't given up hope. As you know, in life, you're up today, tomorrow you're down, but it depends on the things that you do in life which can help to keep you going. And
I mean, it's quite stark. Although they got their 169, okay, 20 short, I'm afraid, by the rules of the game, they still came second.
That's right.
But you add up, Chris Gayle 1, Andre Russell 2, Karen Pollard 0, DJ Bravo 2, and these were the guys with 1,500 T20s to their names, who at the end, on a day when it's obviously a good pitch, we've seen the runs flow for Sri Lanka there, on a day where the entire West Indies wanted, two of them, 2 out of 4 even, just to flourish.
Right. You
That
can
would
say
have
that
would have been different.
it was a bridge too far. Let's come back at you mentioned those particular names. You could put them in the old brigade. As individuals.
Can I say this? There is no other brigade we can put on.
So you could see why I guess these are individuals who would have done it in the past. And let me just say this, that what folks would have seen tonight of Chris Gayle. You know, he didn't quite come to the party, the matches that he would have played. West Indian fans can be cruel at times. And I'm just hoping that they do not remember him for his last outing, because he's been very, very special. He's been the man when it comes to T20 cricket around the world, classified as the universe boss. You'll give him that tag. But this particular tournament wasn't his.
True.
And I know for sure that he can walk away into the sunset feeling that he would have done a magnificent job for his country and what he would have achieved for himself, and given cricket fans around the world such wonderful pleasure.
I mean, I entirely agree. I mean, his record in all forms, not just T20,
Yeah.
but in the 50-over game, mentioned the other day, he's made a triple hundred, if not two actually, in Test matches. So in all forms of the game, he has a record which will be envied and admired forever. So whatever's happened here, I mean, all we have to say here, I think, is that either the universe has lost its boss, or the boss has lost its universe.
Either way, which way you want to put it?
I'll leave it to you.
I'd love to hear you.
Okay.
Seeing that you mentioned it.
Okay, I would say in that case both, because the universe,
Okay.
the universe lives on. Someone else will boss the universe. Someone else will come through and be a star for the future.
Would you
And
fair
the
to
boss
s-
and the boss will hand that universe over to someone else. So both
would
are
it be
true.
fair to say that for sure, I guess he'll pass that baton,
Oh yeah.
and hopefully that the individual who takes that baton run like hell.
Well, maybe we need a different universe, because actually maybe that was just his universe. And as you say, his record, his performances for many, many years will remain intact. And whatever West Indies fans think about the last couple of weeks, I'm sure when they sit down, think about it, have a large glass of something soft, nice glass of juice.
The stuff that the blood that he loves.
They'll be fine. Aaqib, so impressions of the day then. I mean, Viv's obviously talked a lot about the West Indies. What about praise for Sri Lanka?
I think they always look good. They have worked hard. They have done few good things, developing a young team. And I think they were slightly half-cooked. I mean, look, they're very
food,
talented.
You're always talking about food.
Because I'm hungry. Because look, it's good to have a rebuilding process.
Yeah.
Whenever you say, okay, look, West Indies cricket needs overhauling, isn't it? Rebuilding, definitely. And this is what happened in Sri Lanka. But I think if they have like one or two senior guys, must have been better results. But still, they have progressed. They are ahead of West Indies, because today onward they're going to build up, and they already 2 years in their in the feats.
Yes.
So next 1 year time, this team will be ahead of West Indies, because they have already started work, already developed few young guys. I mean, look, today Nisaka and Salanga and that Rajapaksha, they look good. Only they have two good spinners. They just need to fine tune their pace battery. They'll be good, but not ongoing from here. They need to do something different than their daily routines, what we do in Pakistan, India, Sri Lanka or Bangladesh. But 10, 15 years back, ICC Academy, they come out with the idea of having different soils in practice, different soils in their match grounds, pitches. So they have like Perth pitch, they have like soil, they have English soils, Pakistani soils, Indian soils. So these countries need to have different soils, especially soils from Perth, because when you practice regularly, when you're playing games, domestic games on those pitches, only then you will be used to it and perform. Otherwise, they are half of the world they are good, half of the world they are vulnerable. So this is what Australian done in 90s. They keep sending their players to India for 3 months prior to the tournament, get used to it. And this is what England done, because sending all the players across the leagues and learning how to play on the pitches like low and slow. So if you don't change your routines, you cannot expect a different results. So for West Indies, I think West Indies need a new blood, a new type of mentality from the cricket board. Have 20 players, talk to them, and tell them how important West Indies is for them. Leagues are there, but no. If Australia can stop their players during the domestic, during their tours, why can't West Indies? West Indies need somebody like him who would tell people what to do and what not to.
Thank you, man. Thank you for that.
And this is the time a person like you,
Okay, right. So
having a stick in a hand,
hang on. The emotion is getting too much. I mean, there's going to be tears flowing any moment now. Okay, that's general impressions then from today's game. We've got plenty of time to talk about the individual performances, team performances, which we will do starting after the break. Game on Hay.
Game on, hey.